Imagine an aircraft that flies across the sky, a giant with a wingspan wider than a Boeing 747. Yet it can pass through the most sophisticated radar systems on Earth and remain completely undetected. This isn't science fiction. This is the B-2 Spirit, the $2 billion ghost of the modern battlefield. For decades, the factory where this marvel was born was one of the most secret places in the world. A complex so guarded, its very existence was a whispered legend. They didn't just build a plane there, they manufactured invisibility. Today, we're peeling back the layers of secrecy to trace the B-2's full mind-bending creation process. We're going inside the factory, a place of unparalleled precision, to see how raw carbon fiber and a revolutionary design turned into the world's most feared stealth bomber. By the end of this video, you'll know the engineering secrets that make this aircraft a true technological ghost. Let's dive into the full process of building the B-2 Spirit. To understand the B-2, you have to go back to the Cold War. In the late 1970s, the US needed a bomber that could fly deep into Soviet airspace without being seen. The existing bombers, like the B-52, were sitting ducks for new, advanced radar systems. The solution came from an old, ambitious idea: the flying wing. Decades earlier, aviation pioneer Jack Northrop had dreamed of an aircraft with no tail, just a single, seamless wing for maximum aerodynamic efficiency and minimal drag. But the technology simply wasn't ready. Fast forward to the 1980s and the super-secret Advanced Technology Bomber ATB program. This is where the flying wing was resurrected, but this time, it was fused with a groundbreaking material: science. They didn't just want it to be efficient. They wanted it to be invisible. The initial design and development were done in a facility in Pico Rivera, California, a former Ford plant that was completely repurposed and shrouded in secrecy. This was the initial cradle of the ghost. The goal was to eliminate every single surface that could reflect a strong radar signal. This meant no vertical fins, no protruding parts, and even the engine exhaust had to be managed to reduce the heat signature. This vision laid the foundation for what would become the only acknowledged in-service aircraft that can carry massive payloads in a stealth configuration. Once the design was finalized, the manufacturing process moved to a facility known as Air Force Plant 42 in Palmdale, California. Picture a massive, high-security complex, a world unto itself. This isn't a typical assembly line, it's a giant, climate-controlled laboratory. Everything here is about precision. To maintain the B-2's incredibly low radar cross-section, even the slightest manufacturing error, a tiny gap or a misplaced screw, could compromise its invisibility. The assembly takes place on massive, football field-sized jigs, specialized platforms that hold the plane's structure during construction. Engineers used laser measurement systems to track the accuracy of every single part, often down to a thousandth of an inch. This level of precision was, and remains, unprecedented in aircraft manufacturing. Inside these guarded hangars, the construction itself was highly compartmentalized. Different teams worked on different sections of the aircraft, often without knowing the full picture of the final product. This was a deliberate effort to preserve the top-secret stealth technology. Northrop Grumman was the prime contractor, but huge sections of the wing were manufactured by other companies like Boeing, and they were considered some of the largest structural composite aircraft parts ever made. The sheer scale and secrecy here are what truly define this incredible project. So how do you build an aircraft that's essentially an invisible elephant? The answer lies in the materials. The B-2 is primarily constructed from advanced carbon fiber composites. This isn't the aluminum or steel you see in typical jets. These materials are stronger than steel but lighter than aluminum. More importantly, the composites are designed to absorb radar energy rather than reflect it, a fundamental part of its stealth. This process began with automated production systems. Giant, computer-controlled machines would lay down layers of carbon fiber tape with incredible accuracy, a technique called automated tape laying. The parts were then cured in massive, high-pressure ovens called autoclaves. The next step in the process is joining the massive sections. This is where the flying wing truly comes together. The central fuselage is constructed first, then the sweeping, 65-foot-long outboard wing sections are attached. Every seam, every joint had to be perfect and was sealed with special materials, sometimes by hand, to maintain a continuous, smooth surface that would not catch or reflect radar waves. The engines, four powerful General Electric F-118S, are buried deep inside the airframe to minimize the heat signature and noise, further enhancing the low-observable profile. For those of us who obsess over the mechanics of these military titans, the question is always, how is this even possible? When you look at the entire assembly process, the precision CAD modeling, the automated fabrication, the hand finishing of the skin, you truly start to understand the insane engineering of the B-2 bomber. It's a process that took over a year just for the final assembly of a single $2 billion aircraft. The structure and materials get you halfway there. The final, most secretive step in building the B-2 is applying its skin, the multi-layered radar-absorbent material, or RAM. This isn't just black paint. This is a polymer-based coating that is applied by hand, in layers, within specialized, climate-controlled hangars. Imagine a team of highly trained technicians meticulously applying this substance, checking every single millimeter for defects that could create a radar signature. The exact composition of this material is still classified and remains one of the B-2's most valuable secrets. After the RAM is applied and cured, the entire aircraft undergoes extensive, multi-level testing. This includes static and dynamic structural tests to ensure the airframe can handle the stresses of flight, but most importantly, it undergoes specific radar cross-section tests. Essentially, they test its invisibility in a controlled environment. If a defect is found, they have to go back and rework that section. The smallest blemish could turn the ghost back into a visible, multi-million-dollar target. It's this final, painstaking process that transforms a massive flying wing into an undetectable shadow, capable of carrying up to 8,500-pound GPS-guided bombs or even thermonuclear weapons. But the B-2 Spirit changed warfare forever. It remains the world's premier strategic bomber, an icon of technological dominance that defined the end of the 20th century. Only 21 were ever built, and they are all based out of Whiteman Air Force Base, with maintenance still being performed at the same secret facility, Plant 42. The massive investment in the B-2 program, the over $2 billion cost per aircraft, the development of over 900 new materials and processes didn't just create one bomber. It created the foundation for every subsequent stealth program in the U.S., paving the way for aircraft like the F-22 and F-35. Today, its successor, the B-21 Raider, is taking those lessons and pushing the limits of invisibility even further. But the B-2 will forever be the original ghost, the plane that proved you could build something massive and still make it vanish. On from the mind of a forgotten aviation pioneer to a top-secret factory in the California desert, the B-2 Spirit is more than a plane. It's a monument to what's possible when engineering and imagination meet unlimited resources. It's a ghost story told with carbon fiber and radar-absorbing paint. If you are as fascinated as I am by the sheer scale and secrecy of the B-2's construction, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you want to keep exploring the hidden stories and unbelievable technologies that shape our world, then make sure to subscribe to U.S. Military Streamline. We dive deep into the secrets the mainstream misses. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.